One of the things that happened while I was on my break was Lauren Boebert announced that she'd be abandoning her district and running in Colorado's 4th district for Congress. Instead, she's currently representing Colorado's 3rd district and was being challenged by Adam Frisch, as we've talked a lot about. It looked like there was a pretty good chance that she'd be defeated by Adam Frisch. So she is running away to another more conservative district that she has a better chance of winning in. Instead of fighting to continue representing her current district, she's choosing the path of least resistance, running, abandoning her constituents. Now, I have a moment from an interview with her on Steve Bannon's show where she attempts to explain why she's doing this, and it's a ridiculous explanation. But first, let's look at some reporting on this interview from Midas Touch. The piece is titled, "Boebert says Barbara Streisand and Ryan Reynolds made me switch districts." Lauren Boebert went on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast today to give her explanation for abandoning her district to move from Colorado's 3rd to Colorado's 4th. She specifically blamed the amount of money that Hollywood raised to fund her Democratic opponent Adam Frisch and singled out Barbara Streisand and Ryan Reynolds as the main culprits. Boebert started out by arguing that her district is basically the same as Colorado's 4th since they border each other and are both predominantly rural, so they share some of the same concerns. She also claims that she has been representing the entire state of Colorado all along, not just her district. Then she blamed Hollywood for forcing her to make the switch. And with that being said, here is this moment.
So I have made the decision to run in Colorado's 4th district. This is an open seat in Colorado, and my current district and the 4th district, they border each other in southern Colorado and are both very rural. So there are a lot of similarities in these districts. But we need a strong voice there, and we have to shut down the Hollywood elites who are trying to buy my current district. There has been close to $10 million poured into this district to buy the seat, and Colorado's 3rd district is not for sale. But with my announcement running in the 4th district, that shut down the money, the dark money that was flowing into our district to try to purchase this seat. This decision is it's about how we can best defend and advance conservative principles in Colorado and across the country in 2024 and beyond. President Trump has made it very clear that our movement's moment is right now. We need to send conservative fighters to D.C. to help deliver an America First agenda for the American people. And this is the best decision for conservatives, for me personally, and for our movement. And it's not just Aspen that the money is coming from. It's coming from Hollywood. When you have Barbara Streisand coming in and donating to the Democrat, when you have Ryan Reynolds coming in and donating to the Democrat, it shows you that Hollywood is trying to buy their way into Congress.
So it's the Hollywood elites who are trying to steal the seat. So she's moving, and I guess that's going to stop it from happening. Lauren, just because people really don't like you, so they're giving a lot of money to your challenger, doesn't mean something sinister is going on. And of course, she can say whatever she'd like about why she's switching districts, but the reality is that she just wants to stay in power. She's seeing the writing on the wall in her current district, and they're sick of her. And so she felt like she was going to lose. Her constituents were sick of her humiliations, her distractions, her lies, and her lack of serious policies. So now she's running to a district that, I guess because of their partisan breakdown, will be more willing to side with all those things that I listed. And this is obviously unfortunate. She'll still have to win the primary, so we'll see if that happens. But if she does, she'll be more likely to stay in Congress, which is a huge bummer. So sick of her. But I did want to remind you of a couple of clips of a local Colorado news anchor, Kyle Clark, that we looked at a while back, but they're so good. He just perfectly articulates the reality of dealing with people like Lauren Boebert and the fact that much of the mainstream media actually accidentally helps MAGA Republicans with their double standards. We've talked so much about this, especially with Josiah from Pondering Politics, the asymmetry of expectations. The media expects more of Democrats and moderate Republicans, sort of, but much less of extreme MAGA Republicans. So they actually end up reacting less harshly to the actions of people like Trump and Lauren Boebert, compared to if someone such as a Democrat, did the same things that Trump and Lauren Boebert do constantly. And take a look at this from Denver News anchor Kyle Clark.
It's time that we acknowledge something that may be obvious by now. We hold Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to a different standard than every other elected official in Colorado. We hold Congresswoman Boebert to a far lower standard. If we held her to the same standard as every other elected Republican and Democrat in Colorado, we would be here near nightly chronicling the cruel, false, and bigoted things that Boebert says for attention and fundraising. This is not about politics, assuming politics is still about things like taxes, national security, healthcare, jobs, and public lands. This is about us, as journalists, recognizing that we'll hold a politician accountable if they say something vile once, but we won't do it if they do it every day. Our double standard is unfair to all the elected officials in Colorado, Republicans and Democrats, who display human decency.
So good. And you also have this moment after Lauren Boebert engaged in lewd behavior in public, the Beetlejuice debacle. Kyle Clark had this to say.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's recent performance of sorts that got her thrown out of the theater in Denver was a lot of things, but it wasn't a surprise. I haven't seen a single person say why I am shocked that Lauren Boebert was rude, disruptive, and belligerent. This is, after all, the Congresswoman who suggested that a Muslim colleague was a suicide bomber. I haven't seen anyone surprised that Boebert did not tell the truth about what happened. Because, I mean, days before, we just fact-checked her latest false claim about migrants. I haven't seen anyone say that it was out of character for the Congresswoman to appear to berate theater staff members who were just trying to do their jobs. Really, the only surprise in all of this is that Boebert, once she got caught, apologized and said that she didn't live up to her values. What? I mean, when Boebert didn't know that the cameras were watching, she was exactly who she is when she does know people are watching. Boebert reportedly asked the theater staff, "Don't you know who I am?" Yes, we do.
Make sure you are a member at lukebeasley.com/membership and subscribed to the YouTube channel.